Hi and hello. You are listening to the River District Podcast. I am your host, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound and the River District. I am sitting here with my guest today, Anne Dondertman of the Grey Gallery and Grey Gallery Garden. How are you doing?
Good. Yes. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, and thank you for coming. This is great. For those of you that don't know, Anne is actually the neighbor to CTRE Studios.
That's right. It was an easy commute here.
It really was. You couldn't get lost. That's for sure. That's for sure. So we've invited Anne here to just talk about all things art and artists and garden and all of those kinds of things. Why should we, come and visit you, and what sets you apart?
Yeah, I think a few things set us apart. First of all, we live and work in the building.
Oh, you live there?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
We live upstairs, and my husband, John Laughlin's studio is upstairs as well. So I think it brings a certain energy to the site.
Absolutely.
It also makes us very committed to the River District since we own a building, run a business, and actually are residents. So
that's incredible. I didn't know that part, that you lived upstairs. What a cool feature.
Yes, I can do laundry while I'm at work. So,
I mean, not everything is a benefit, I guess.
Secondly, I think the type of art that we show. So my husband, John Laughlin, who's a sort of resident artist, is a figurative artist chiefly. And so we are drawn to work that says something about the human condition.
Okay.
I don't mean it has to be like preachy or dogmatic in any way, but artists that have something to say that sort of stop you in your tracks when you see the work and you make you think about things.
Sure, absolutely. I know in particular during the pandemic, and it might still be there now, you had these very large paintings along the wall. I think there was 4 of them. And there were various caregivers and things like that.
Oh, yes. That was a special exhibition by a local artist, Lydia Knox.
Okay.
And they were the sort of 4 angels they were all paintings that she did during COVID. So
of course,
they were healthcare workers or
teachers.
Yeah, those were really large works.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that speaks to the kind of art that you're bringing into the gallery. It says something. It's very expressive and stuff like that. So please tell us more about the artists that you bring in and the kind of art and all those kinds of things.
So we work with both emerging and established artists. And mainly because this is such a creative community, there's so many artists in the area.
So many, yeah.
People have just been approaching us. But some of the first artists that we worked with were Raquel Yang, and she's the artist who did the huge mural on our wall. Tony Miller, and again, we've shown him a couple of times. Lydia Knox as well has shown a few times with us. But also Lauren Wagman, very well known in the area, and Vera Dernovsik. And it's been kind of a serendipity thing. People come in and speak with us, and if we feel like it's a good fit for us, then we try to fit them in.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about artists and kind of finding each other and promoting each other, and that's very much speaks to the River District community as a whole as well. Everybody kind of supporting each other and all of that kind of stuff. So it's so lovely to have the Grey Gallery as a supporting member of that. And I'm still just so floored at the fact that you guys just live in the building as well. It's so lovely. It's so wonderful. And to know that your heart is really here, which is
exactly.
really lovely. And part of that heart spends some time in the garden next door. Tell me how the Grey Gallery Garden came to be.
Well, as you know, and most people from the area would remember, it was pretty much a derelict space.
Yes.
It was kind of used as a thoroughfare to get from 2nd Avenue to 3rd Avenue. And I guess it'd been neglected for a long time because I believe the buildings that were there burnt in the 90s.
Maybe, yeah.
So it was, it didn't seem to have a lot of potential. I'm a gardener, so of course I really wanted to have a garden space close to my home.
Right.
But the challenge was, because it was basically just rubble, it was going to be expensive because we would have to excavate and bring in soil. So anyway, eventually that's what we did. So I guess that was 2 summers ago we started.
Is that it? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think this is just the 3rd summer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been such a staple for so long now.
Well, it happened in stages too.
Sure.
So we did the excavating to build the fences and the perennial beds and the boxes, the containers, like the large size raised beds were there, I think, the first year. And they're used by 6 other gardeners. So
Okay.
women who live downtown who don't have outdoor space. And it's mainly veggies and herbs and things.
Yeah.
And then the other beds I look after, and they're more ornamental.
Okay. Just for your own fun gardening hobbies.
Well, just to make a beautiful space.
Oh, and it
yeah.
is such a beautiful space. It really is. There have been movies filmed in it.
Yes.
There has been endless concerts. Last year you held a concert series there outdoors. What was that the Sweetwater Music Festival?
Well, yeah, some of our concerts last year were canceled because of COVID.
Right,
but,
that's right.
Sweetwater had because they had to pivot to a different format, so they had some concerts there, and they're going to be back this year. They're going to have,
that's awesome.
I think, 2 on the Thursday and Friday of the week that they're on in September. So that's great. And yes, Dave Hawkins has played there with
Larry Jensen,
and
countless times. Absolutely. And of course, we had Summer Folk stage there this year for the Hottest Street Sale, which I think went over very, very well. It was a bit of a more intimate space, but the fact that it's kind of in between 2 buildings and things like that, I think really played nicely with the type of music that was brought by Summer Folk into the space, and a great use of the space for the Hottest Street Sale for sure.
Yeah, I'm told I'm not musical. I'm not a musician, but I'm told that it has very good acoustics in there. So the musicians seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just more of an intimate space. You don't lose the sound or anything like that. Plus, it's just beautiful. So speaking of being beautiful, you've spoken to the mural, but you have artists coming in and out of that space and in the gallery. Say I'm an artist, how do I approach you to become displayed there?
Right. Well, you basically just have to come in and meet us
Okay.
to begin with. A lot of people walk in with a whole bunch of images on their phone to show, which is fine. I mean, we really need a little time to get to know each other.
Of course.
And for us to get to know the type of work that artist does.
It's a bit of a relationship then.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And so are all of the works of art in the gallery and in the garden, less the garden beds themselves, available for purchase?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
We occasionally might have something that's not for sale, like the still that's in the garden, the moonshine still that's an outdoor sculpture in the garden.
Sure.
That I bought that piece, so it's
Okay.
not for sale. But yes, we're trying to get more sculptures in that space, more outdoor sculptures. So they're for sale. And in fact, everybody was probably very familiar with Casey, the horse that was there.
Yes, the horse.
And that did eventually sell. So
But
very
it's
good
still in the
news.
River District.
It is.
It is. It's
wonderful.
displayed at the Sydenham, where you can see it actually while you're coming into the River District. So that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. Yeah, so
Excuse me, I'm choking on my air.
we do, try to kind of organize things about a year in advance. But of course, everything has been more difficult of late.
Absolutely, absolutely. So any big plans coming up? Recently we've been in touch about a weekly ongoing event that you're hosting. What is that, and how are you doing that?
Oh, the weekly life drawing?
Yes.
Yes, so we don't generally do workshops. Of course, we're so fortunate in town to have the Georgian Bay Center for the Arts and the many, many, many types of workshops that they offer. So we don't do that, but we do have a weekly life drawing session. So this is an uninstructed session really for working artists who just need the practice in drawing the figure.
Okay, that's awesome. And I'm really just choking over here. Well, Anne takes on the full responsibility of this podcast,
I can talk a little more if you like.
You can talk a little bit more while I have a full-on breakdown. I'll just hide under the table and deal with whatever I have going on. And she's going to run the podcast from here, I think. You're the new host. No, thank you for that. So how often should people come into the gallery?
Right. So, of course, I think they should come very often. For one thing, our exhibitions change regularly. And especially this summer, we've basically had something different on at least every month.
Absolutely, yeah.
And because we're small and flexible, we can pivot pretty quickly. So, the one thing would be to keep in touch through our newsletter. We do have a monthly newsletter. You're not going to be having your inbox swamped with messages. It's just once a month. And it sort of tells people what's coming up and special promotions and things like that. So
how do I sign up for that?
It's on our website, or I think you can sign up on the Facebook page as well. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Okay, what is the Facebook page?
So our social media handles for Facebook and Instagram, it's GG Owen Sound, and the website is greygallery.ca. So
no, that's amazing, honestly. And what are your hours of operation? You're not open every single day of the week, or
no?
And your hours a little bit longer, shorter, that kind of thing. So can you tell us about that?
So we're open year-round, Wednesday to Saturday, noon to 5. And this summer, we've also been open June, July, and August for Sunday hours, just 11 to 3. It's a bit of an experiment to see. The very first summer we were here, we were open, and it was, pretty quiet. As you know, it's very quiet in Owen Sound on Sundays, but there are a lot of tourists in the area, and
Absolutely.
I thought, it was worth a try. You could have a rainy day, or, just driving through and need something to do, so...
Absolutely, and it's definitely Sunday. People have a little bit more time to commit to doing certain things like looking through a gallery.
Yeah. I think coming in frequently is also, I'm a big believer in browsing.
Yes.
So, you might not consider yourself an art collector or even an art enthusiast, but there's always something interesting to see. And if you just sort of take your time and walk around and look at things, I think it's browsing is a very worthwhile activity.
Absolutely.
The same goes for books, and for art. I'm not an artist myself, and I don't have any art training. Particularly, my career was in something very different. But I did always go out with John on weekends and when we were traveling and visit galleries, and you just got to give it a chance. Just walk in the door and take some time and look around. Yeah,
spending time in the space is really important, I think, for letting the art kind of choose you and that kind of thing. My goodness, I am having a breakdown. Thank you so much.
I hope you're not allergic to me.
I don't know. I might be allergic to this tissue. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first time this has happened, so... Yeah. I really appreciate you taking the lead and basically running this entire session and telling us all of the wonderful things that the Grey Gallery and the Grey Gallery Garden have to offer and what you've been working on and all those kinds of things. One more time, give us your socials, give us your website, give us your phone number, give us your hours.
Okay. Wednesday to Saturday, noon to 5, and Sunday, 11 to 3 in the summer, greygallery.ca. Email greygalleryowensound@gmail. GG Owen Sound on Facebook and Insta. I think that's it, right?
That's all of them. Make sure that you are following them. As always, I am your host, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound and the River District, here with my friend Anne from the Grey Gallery Garden. And you can find us at owensoundriverdistrict.ca, at River District OS on all of our socials. And we will see you next time. And hopefully I keep it together for my next session, because it's not going well right now. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you later. Thanks so much for coming in, Anne.
Thank you.